Hi, my name is Dr. King, and I teach in the Department of Educational Foundations. I teach the Introduction to Education 210 course, which includes the observation and participation field placement component. And so I've created this video to help you understand some of the foundational components of this field placement, what's expected of you, what you can expect, and how this is all going to unfold. So first of all, what is it? OMP is observation and participation, and it's the field placement component of Educational Foundations 210, Introduction to Education and Teaching. This is a 50-hour field placement in a classroom under the supervision of a licensed cooperating teacher. Sometimes you'll see this abbreviated CT. This is an opportunity for you to learn about the profession and becoming a professional educator. So what is this? It's a generalized experience where your job is to learn what it means to become a professional educator. So notice that this is, like I said, general and broad. Once you get into your specific methods courses for your discipline, you'll have a field placement that is designed to help you learn how to teach in your specific field. So in this field experience, your job is to learn all that you can about what teaching is like from the teacher's perspective. More importantly, your job is to learn how to relate to, connect with, and work with adolescents, again, as a professional educator. The requirements for this field placement are that you attend 8 full-day Tuesday OMP sessions. You'll receive from your instructor a list of those dates, and they're all pre-established ahead of time. While you're there, you'll be asking your cooperating teacher to complete a timesheet on you, just indicating when you arrived and when you left. You'll also ask your cooperating teacher to complete a teacher evaluation on your performance and progress. Really what we're looking for here is that you've demonstrated a positive work ethic and positive dispositions, and that there are no unresolved complaints. The process for how this is going to unfold is that about a week before you begin your placement, you're going to receive your official placement. There's going to be a form that you receive that has a chart listing all of the students in Foundations block or in Intro to Education who are placed at your specific school. You're going to be able to see your specific placement. It's going to tell you your teacher's name, the content area and or grade, the room number. There's going to be an address for the school. There will be start and end times. So the time that you need to report and the time that you can leave at the end of the day will be specified for you. And pay attention to this. Where you need to report on your first day will also be on that sheet. So some of you are going to just go into the office and meet with a principal. Principal is going to give you a tour. Others of you will just sign in and go and meet with your cooperating teacher right away. So this form is going to give you all of those specific details that you need. Transportation. So bus transportation is not provided. You are responsible for planning your transportation. Now you can carpool, certainly. Just please be aware that your faculty are not allowed due to liability issues to help you with that carpooling. So that's something that you're going to need to plan with your classmates outside of the classroom. A placement sheet, like I said, will list all of the students from UW-Whitewater who are placed at that specific school that you're going to, so that can help you with that organizing your carpools. I also need to note that not having a ride cannot be accepted as an excused absence. So you want to make sure that you're really working on getting that, getting your transportation firmed up and having a plan A, B, and C. Also, I'm sure with the way things go in Wisconsin, bad weather may be something that you're concerned about. So generally speaking, if the school district has a snow day or a late start, you do too. It's an excused absence and you do not have to make that up. However, if the weather is bad but the school is not closed or starting late, the decision to drive is yours. I know the slide says it's not yours, but it is yours. However, if you miss, if you decide that you're going to stay home, or if you come in late, you will need to make that up. And you'll just talk with your cooperating teacher and find a time that's mutually convenient for you to go in and make up your hours. So what will you be doing at your O&P site? Well, we have a whole list of things that you can be expected to do during O&P that will be provided to you with your official placement information. You'll actually receive 2 copies, one for you, one for your cooperating teacher. So your cooperating teacher has the same expectations in mind. In general, you're going to be assisting that teacher and working with students. I need to let you know that you're not going to be left alone with students to teach for the teacher. This is because you are not a licensed educator. There needs to be a licensed educator in the room with those students at all times. So if a situation arises where your cooperating teacher is looking like they may leave you alone with the students, or if it does happen, that's something that you need to be assertive and let your cooperating teacher know very politely and very professionally that because you're not a licensed teacher, you can't be left alone in the room. Now, if that does happen a subsequent time, it's important for you to report that immediately after you finish with your placement for the day. Let your instructor know that. As far as paperwork, you can guarantee that there's paperwork with this. I already alluded to what you're going to need to do, but I will go over this again. When you receive your placement, you're going to receive your timesheet, and you're also going to receive the cooperating teacher evaluation. At least most semesters, you do receive it when you get your placement. If you don't receive it when you get your placement, it will come later. Okay, so don't worry, we do have that covered, you will get it. Okay, so your timesheet. So you'll receive a timesheet, and this is for you to take to your placement every single week, have your cooperating teacher sign it. You will be turning this in, it's official paperwork. You will be turning this in at the end of your 8 weeks field placement. This goes to the Office of Field Experiences, OFE. We also call it field placement. And this is what says, yes, you completed those 50 hours. If you don't turn that timesheet in, we can't guarantee that you're going to get credit for completing your O&P. So get it in. Cooperating teacher evaluations. Now, these are forms that you'll be given to give to your cooperating teacher. You will be provided with this. It may come in the middle of the 8-week placement, but you will be receiving this. I need you to know that it's your responsibility to collect that from the teacher. In my class, they're due hard copy in class the Thursday after O&P is done. Other instructors may do it differently, but that's how I prefer to do it. Your cooperating teacher, let's talk about your cooperating teacher. This is considered your home base. So your cooperating teacher will complete your timesheet and the evaluation on your progress. It's really important that no matter what the situation, you establish a positive professional rapport with your cooperating teacher. I just can't stress how important this is going to be for you. Always remember that you are going there in this school, in your field placement, as a pre-service professional educator. By that I mean you are establishing your reputation and building your network. So your cooperating teacher is a gateway to building that network. This is also the room where you'll be recording your instruction. Now notice it's in quotes. Each student in Intro to Education completes video of some sort of student interaction or actual teaching. Now this will vary from professor to professor, class to class. So you need to make sure you understand the requirements of your specific class. Also, this is the person that you will email, the cooperating teacher. It's the person that you will email if you have an emergency, if you're going to be late or anything like that. I also require all of my students to CC me on that message as well. Sometimes teachers get busy and they may not see your email. If you CC your instructor always is aware then of the efforts that you put in to communicate your situation. So your role in observation and participation is to be an objective observer and to participate. I need to stress, your job is not to critique that teacher, not in any way. I sometimes have students who, after they've completed their second day of O&P, send me a lengthy email on all of the things that the teacher could do to improve the learning in their classroom. Talk to your individual instructor if you have concerns about what is going on in your classroom. And this does arise from time to time. But your job is not to judge. Your job is to try and learn what's going on and then ask why. So if there's some things going on that you don't agree with or that you don't quite think is the optimal way of doing things, your job is to really reflect on that and think about, where did you get that notion, for one, and two, why do you suppose the teacher is doing the things that they are, or what is going on with the system of the classroom, the school, so on, that is causing things to be the way that they are. And so that leads me to the third point. Your job is to develop an understanding of the system of education and learn about, again, becoming a professional educator. Because remember, teachers teach in a system. You don't just go into your classroom and teach in isolation. Which leads me to, you should be working to understand the context of what's going on, or the bigger picture. You should be getting to know your students. Job number one, getting to know your students and understanding the students' context. So understanding family, socioeconomic status, community, school, achievement, attitudes towards school, what they're doing in their lives outside of school. You need to get to know the students and what they're all about. In the classroom setting, I know some of you are coaching, or you have after-school programs that you run or camps that you run, but you need to understand the students' context that they bring with them into the classroom. And then two, to understand the teacher's context and what's going on at the school. What I try to encourage my students to do is test the waters. So you're there to try teaching and see what you think. So you should be engaging with the students. You should be, and I think this is a really great opportunity for you to push yourself beyond your comfort level and to really try and participate. Along the way, you should be self-assessing what you identify as what you need to learn and be able to do, so that you can more fully participate in your methods block, field placement, in your student teaching, and in your full-time career. I encourage you to explore broadly, introduce yourself to other teachers, the administrators, support staff. Oh gosh, get to know the support staff. Remember, those school secretaries can be your best friend. So network, meet people. Create your own opportunities. There's nothing saying that you can't interview some of the other support staff. Why don't you try and job shadow one of the principals for a day? Or maybe you would like to go and see how teaching is done in an art class or another extra or special in the elementary class or elective in middle school. However, no matter what you decide that you want to do with this, if you're going to go visit some other classrooms, please remember to respect the efforts of your cooperating teacher. And if you're ever going to leave the classroom, communicate. Let them know what you're going to be doing, and make sure that they're okay with you doing and that they're not depending on you. So be very, very clear in your communication there. You should also be really focusing in on instructional design, and how does your cooperating teacher and any of the other instructors that you're able to, your other teachers you're able to see, how do they design the learning that happens in their classroom? What sorts of different instructional approaches do they use? So how are lessons started and ended? Specifically, try to find out about learning targets and exit slips. Those are big, big terms in education right now. So see what you can understand about those. Classroom management, that's usually something that comes up right away in your O&P. So try to observe different classroom management techniques and approaches. But one of the ways that you can do this is by going into different classrooms and see what rules and routines and processes and expectations are being expected of the students. Look purposefully at how the teachers are structuring their lessons and have conversations. Find out why they structure things the way that they do. And certainly have conversations about grading and assessment. Again, I'm going to stress that key to your success in this field placement, and certainly in your teaching career, is to start first with getting to know your students. And I always add a next step: get to know your students and really begin to understand youth culture. So you want to know what these kids are into. Observe peer interactions. Try to tease out the different peer groups. Find out what they care about. Observe for how they speak and what words that they use and their word choices. Have conversations with your students. Find out about their background. Find out about what their family life is like. Find out their attitudes about school. Do everything that you can to try and understand this age group of students better. This will only improve your effectiveness throughout O&P as well as throughout your teaching career.